Hi everyone, welcome to the Ultimate Gardening channel. My name is Emilio Arce, well known to be the Ultimate Gardener. And today's exciting spreading video, we're spicing up this video. We're going back to how we originated, but we're going to be making some flower videos here and there as I have the plants, because I do love growing your own food, but I also love ornamentals. So that is what I started in, ornamentals. But I will be making more growing your own food videos sometime here soon. But I wanted to take the opportunity to showcase to you guys some of these beautiful plants. So I went to New Turf this morning and I bought a few plants that I really loved, and so I'm going to showcase them to you guys sort of as a mini plant haul. And then I'm going to make, later on in this video, I'm going to film myself planting all these plants. So let's go ahead and jump right into this video. So it's the main gardener, starting off from the most tallest plant, and then we're going to work our way downwards. So right here, we have some Foxglove. So Foxglove is actually one of my plants that I absolutely adore since day one. So right here you can see these beautiful flower canopies. So they're like tall little flowers. So the foliage itself is super strappy and beautiful, sort of like a hosta, but the flowers is what is mainly used for. One thing you do want to consider when planting Foxglove is this Foxglove, if consumed by a human or an animal, the kid gets severely sick. So you want to keep this out of hands of kids as well as pets. So keep that in mind. Second plant, it is Delphinium. Delphinium is such a fun plant to grow because look at that bi-colored flower. Look at how pretty that is. That is a tinge of lavender with tinges of blue as well. One of my favorite plants so far ever since I started growing ornamentals. Number two, which this has been an exciting found because as you guys know, I'm a huge Proven Winners fan. No, I do not work with Proven Winners, keep that in mind, but I have been looking for their plants for some time now, and New Turf, they caught me by surprise and they did have some things, and so I was super thankful to have them. So here I have the Primo Black Pearl Heuchera right here. Look at how pretty that is. I love the leaves, how they look so glossy, and the underleaves are so pretty. I absolutely love it. I actually got two of these because I love them so much. So moving on to the smaller plants, I decided to get a pomegranate because I wanted to try pomegranate. So you can see it has flowers, but the plant is too small to actually carry any fruit. So I'm gonna pop those off. Then we have some mint right here. My dad chose these out. And for my mom, we did get some rosemary because that's always an herb every garden should have. Rosemary is one of those main things. And then the last and final plant, we got a 15 count tray of these Variegated Sunpatients right here. So like, look at this foliage. Like, I know the flowers are pretty and everything, but look at how beautiful this variegated foliage is. Never seen a sun patient like that before, so that's why I decided to grab a flat of it. So now I gave you guys a mini tour of everything I have here, and so now I'm gonna go ahead and film every single plant being planted, how it's gonna do, and every single time I finish the project, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you guys about what I did, the plants that are in it, and how you should care for each and every single plant. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So to main gardeners, the first plant that was planted out in the garden is the Variegated Sunpatients. So I decided to fit these in with the peach hibiscus bush that the Tropical Plants of Florida sent me. That combination with the variegation of the foliage and the color of the flower, those are two main components that actually make the plants interact with each other, and it's a great combination in general. And so I decided to put these here because it's part sun, part shade. Throughout the day, I think it's in the morning, it's in shade, and in the afternoon, it's in sun. And sun patients usually do perform very, very well with sun. But you might actually mix them up with inpatients. There's inpatients and sun patients. Sun patients can have a huge tolerance towards sun, while inpatients have a huge tolerance towards shade. So don't quite mix them up, because if you plant inpatients in full sun, they'll fry. And so it's been a while since I haven't put sun patients in this front area in a bit, because once I took over the front designing part of this area of the front gardens, I decided to mix and experiment with new plants, and sun patients were out of the book because my dad would always put sun patients every year. The only thing that would change is the color, which we got sick and tired of that at one point. So that's why they haven't been on the front garden area for a long time. But once they came out with this new plant of the variegated kind, I really do like it, and so that's why I decided to plant them here. So a few tips when it comes to sun patients is they do require some type of sun, and so I would recommend an area where they would get 4+ hours of direct sun. So part sun, part shade would do great. Watering schedule does have to be one time every 4 days. Based if it rains, you can go ahead and just send that one time every week. But these do need water strictly in a strict water schedule, because they cannot handle hot temperatures without sun. Another thing with fertilizing is not required when it comes to sun patients, but if you do want to do a fertilizer, do a liquid soluble fertilizer such as the Vermister earthworm casting tea, which you can combine with, I think it's 3 ounces per gallon of water you use. And so you can mix that solution up with water every single time you water them. And then until you see them established into their new home, you can set back that fertilizer one time every month. So now let's go ahead and move on to the next set of plants that will be planted. So to my gardeners, I just realized that the neighbors are actually playing very loud music currently, and I do not want to get copyrighted, so this video would not be taken down. So before I actually do the planting, because the actual planting will be fast forwarded, I decided I would like to do the care tips and where they're going to be planted right now, so the music wouldn't be heard. So let me go ahead and get all 3 plants and showcase them to you. So to my gardeners, first plant is this Foxglove right here. As you can see, I showcased it. So this is one of the plants. This is actually the centerpiece. These will actually be planted in the front pots in my garden. So these will be flanking the front pots in my garden, so you can look something pretty. And so these are a full sun plant right here, full sun. These should be in a full sun location plant. These also are poisonous to humans and animals if eaten, so try to keep them out of toddlers' hands or animals' hands, so try to keep that in mind. And fertilizing is one time every week until established, so keep that in mind as well. So to my gardeners, coming at number 2 is the Delphinium right here. This is a full sun location plant. This actually requires water one time every, I believe, week, as well as the Foxglove. But all 3 plants have to be watered weekly. Even if they're established, weekly has to do it. And so with this, you do have to fertilize one time every month, as well as all 3 plants as well. So this one is not poisonous right here, so you could, if your toddler touches this or if an animal gets in contact with it, you don't have to be so concerned. Coming at number 2 is the Primo Black Pearl Proven Winners Heuchera right here. This is actually a different sunlight requirements. These actually require partial sun to partial shade. So the thing is that this, I'm actually extending it a little bit because in the afternoon, late afternoon, around, we'll say 4 or 5 around there, the sun starts to set and the mango tree is covering these pots. So I want to see how we'll do. If I see early stages of stress with these plants, they will be taken out of the container. So this is once again partial sun to partial shade, watering weekly with the other 3, and fertilizing monthly as well. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the area where they're gonna be planted, and that's gonna be fast forwarded. Gardeners, I think those containers came out so beautiful. I just finished planting them, and now we're moving on to the last 3 plants on our list. And so I think this combination came out to be so gorgeous. I love the foliage, accents, all of them just pair nice with each other. If you notice, these are big size container plants in a small container. Well, here's a few things I did to prevent them from all just looking like sausages in a little pack. And so the things I did was I roughed up the root system because all of them were root bound. And then I also decided to put some pressure on the sides and make it a little bit more skinnier. You might be wondering, isn't that gonna kill my plant? Can it end up dying? Not really, because the root system is still there, and so by you just putting pressure on it gently and you squishing it together will end up allowing it to be in the containers appropriately, and it won't choke out any of the plants. And in order to keep this type of combination alive, you want to keep it well watered every day until it's established, until you notice that the plants are starting to grow out. And once the plants go to a mature size where they're getting too big for the container, you can go ahead and take those apart and use them in a separate arrangement, or you can use them out in the garden. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the rosemary, mint, and pomegranate. So the rosemary is a full sun plant, requires water one time every 4 days when it's newly planted. Once it's established, you can hold off on watering one time every week. Fertilizing is not required, but if you would like to, you can go ahead and mix some of that water-soluble fertilizer with the water you use. The mint is also a full sun plant, requires watering one time every 4 days. Same requirement as the rosemary until established. Once established, water one time every week. If you would like to fertilize with the water-based soluble fertilizer. The pomegranate is super different. Full sun requires watering one time every 3 days until established. Once it's established, water one time every 5 days. Fertilizing is every week with the water-soluble fertilizer. Once it's established, you can go ahead and move to monthly. So let me go ahead and record all 3 plantings, and then we'll wrap up this video. So to main gardeners, that's going to be it for this exciting sprouting video. Once again, I showcased to you guys a mini plant haul, and I gave you guys care guides for all the individual plants that were showcased today, as well as showing you guys how they were planted and where they were planted. So hopefully you guys found this video entertaining and informative, because I love doing these types of videos because this is how I began my channel, with ornamentals and flowers. So please leave a comment down below if you want to see any more videos like this, because I'll gladly do more. So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you learned something new, please leave a like down below. And while you're down there, please consider subscribing to show your amazing support towards the Ultimate Gardening channel. And please share with your friends and families to help other generations learn where the food comes from, but not only that, learn how to grow it. Thank you all so much for watching, and never forget to grow big, Ultimate Gardeners. Bye guys.